Hello guys. Today we're gonna be looking at my volleyball footage again because I once again don't have any gameplay to show you, and I'm I'm recording a more serious video, so um I feel like I can't play a game while talking. Okay, so this is my post decisions college apps review, and as for my decisions, they went well. I got lucky, to be honest. Um, and I got into Cornell, which was my original ED school, but they deferred me and then accepted me regular. Thank God, and I'm so happy and excited. Um, but uh, that has not changed my opinion of college apps too much. But I think I've cleared up some things about my thought. Like one of the things that I've been thinking about is how the image that colleges, especially top colleges, uh, like like I feel like state colleges or lower tier colleges kind of just try to instrumentalize themselves. Like they literally just tell you like, okay, go here to get a job, right? Like it's very much like, okay, come to this college because we can give you an education that can earn you money essentially. So it's very instrumentalized. But for top tier colleges, I think the main way that they advertise is they advertise a sort of ideology or an image. And the image that comes to my mind is like the School of Athens. It's like imagine like a Princeton, because that's the one closest to me. Um, like you think of Princeton as somewhat of like just a group of very rich, very smart, very progressive people, like kids, professors, everything, right? And in a lot of ways, it is like it is just a collection of the top people in society, like the peak of society essentially. And like in a lot of ways, it is that way. But I think there's a difference between that image and A, what actually happens there, and um and B, like the type of students that they admit. So I'll first talk about the type of students that they admit, because I think a lot of kids who get into these top colleges do not get there by exuding the traits that the colleges prefer. Like I when you think about the top colleges, maybe you think that like the kids that they would like the most are courageous and adventurous and like know what they want to do. They're highly self-directed. They have somewhat of a sense of purpose. Um, and they're like very grounded and like within themselves, I would say. But that's not really what they get. Like I'm not saying this about my friends because uh my in my personal opinion, my assortment of friends are very good, and they've gotten there because they are courageous and they are super hardworking and grounded. But I just have this feeling that a lot of the kids who got in aren't. Um, and like recently, this feeling came up because my girlfriend got into Harvard and Princeton, and her mom was talking about just like how toxic the parent groups were for Harvard and Princeton, because like the parent groups are extremely toxic. Like all they talk about is like extracurriculars and like all this superficial stuff that their kid did to get in, and like like yada yada this yada yada that, and they're like planning out their whole kid's future for them. And I feel like that type of parent is like the kids of those parents are not the courageous self-directed kids that the colleges think they're getting. um and then the other thing is like the difference between that and the actual experience. And this came up because I was watching this channel called Introverted Madness, which is a kid who went to Stanford, which is like insane. Like no matter how the experience was of Stanford, I know that the guy who's talking is very qualified, because if there's one thing that colleges do well is that they filter very well. Like if you go to Stanford, even if your parents groomed you all the way to get in, it still proves you're incredibly smart, very hardworking, most likely, um, and traits like that. So like he was just talking about how Stanford really just did not live up to his expectations. Like it was just like another version of high school. Um, and nothing like the image that he saw of Stanford. And I think that's true. Um, I haven't been to college yet, but like my excitement for like I know somewhat in the back of my head that my excitement for going to college is probably more than I will actually get there. Um, yeah, and uh, okay, well, this was all kind of negative, but I want to say some positive stuff. Um, I think overall, like college apps are still a very fairly robust system, I'd say. Um, like I think it got most of the people who deserved it. Um, Obviously missed some that deserved it, and it also took some who didn't deserve it. But I think the overall like accuracy percentage you could call it is pretty strong for colleges. Uh, yeah, and also I like it because it brings out everyone's talents. Like there's this kid on the volleyball team, or he was on the volleyball team last year, and this year he got into a Northwestern. And I found out that he was the number one saxophone in the state, which is like insane. But I just never knew this about him. And yeah, that's like really cool. Like it's really cool to see everyone shining in their own way. Like no one that people admit are like the same, right? Well, I mean, of course there are some that are very similar, but like everyone shines in their own way. And I think that's it's very nice that uh, college apps in America is able to do this, unlike a place like China, where you just have to do good on the test. Um, okay, and then back to the negative. I think the infrastructure around college apps is terrible. Like it's exploitative of parents and students. Like especially, I know this is a stereotype, but it's kind of true of like Asian parents who really want their kids to get in. Like these companies just exploit them. And what I'm talking about is like SAT tutors, like college advisors. There's a lot of like extracurricular classes that people just like sign up for. Like it just costs money. Um, and then, uh, and then beyond that, what's even worse is like meaningless volunteer work. Like I think this is the most egregious of all college apps infrastructure. Is like all these people who just prop up like volunteer organizations that do nothing but for the purpose of them getting into college. Like that is I don't even know how to put it in words. That's just like kind of disgusting. Um like 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 the goal is not to help people. The goal is to get volunteer hours and to get leadership. And for the same reason, like I feel like some padded extracurriculars are like that too. Like having a lot of padded leadership positions, having like co-presidents, co-vice presidents, like, oh come on. You know, like just having a lot of padded leadership stuff that doesn't really mean anything. Um, yeah, which I don't like. Um, and in some ways, I don't know if this is a good analogy or a bad analogy, but capitalism it is. I mean, I think college apps is just like an extension of capitalism, and it has like the same problems. Like like it is a very fairly functional meritocracy, I would say, and that's really good. But like with the meritocracy also comes a lot of toxicity, a lot of unhealthiness, I think. Just like in terms of mental health, um, and maybe even physical health. And also a lot of like a lot of infrastructure that is not really providing any value except for exploiting people. Um, yeah. So that's what I think about college apps. I think it's okay. Uh, in America is better than most countries. But yeah, that's it. It's been a while since I last talked, but I have a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff in my life is happening. Um, so I might be back with more videos, but it's also volleyball season, so I'm pretty busy. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day, guys.